Okay, welcome back to Strong Opinion Hibs podcast. I'm your host, Calvin, and today I'm joined with my co-host and my good mate, Charlie Banks. How you doing, Charlie?
I'm not bad, mate. Yourself?
Doing good, mate, doing good. How's your week been? What have you been up to since the last podcast?
It's been quiet, mate. Work's been pretty quiet. Not really much happening as well. You know, still trying to just get ready for things opening back up again. So not really much going on. What about yourself? How's teaching this week?
Just the same, mate. I'm only in one full day a week, so it's all right. But it's good being back in the classroom with the kids and that. But it's so hard to stay 2 meters away from them, because they need help in that. You know what I mean? Like with the woodworking and things like that, you can't no go within 2 meters of them. So it's been really difficult that way, like trying to remind yourself to stay back and stay and that. But it's been good, just that social interaction, because the kids have got good chat and good banter and that. So it's been pretty good getting a chat about the football there as well and hearing their opinions and stuff.
That's good. That's good.
It's been quite good. How do you feel after putting that first episode out then? But got some good feedback and that. You posted it on hibs.net, on the Facebook and things like that, and Twitter and.
I think it went well, mate. I think we started well. It seems like we're maybe a bad influence. You know, we've posted one podcast and we then get beat at the weekend. So hopefully history doesn't repeat itself this weekend. But I think the first one was good. I was really happy with it.
I agree with that, mate. I think if we lose this weekend, I think we'll just pack in.
We'll just shut up. We'll be starting another team's podcast and hope they go on a bad run of form afterwards. But
but no, it's been good. We've got some good feedback in that. We've changed things up a wee bit because we were recorded last time on that Google Meet. But a lot of folk were saying the switching between the two screens and that was a wee bit confusing and that. So we'll try to do it on Zoom this week to try and make a wee improvement there. But no, I got some good feedback for some the other Hibs podcasts. Like your mate, Larry was a sound guy, like decent guy.
The boys down the slope were really good for us, and for the few of my Hibs mates have said that they've enjoyed it, so hopefully we can keep that up with this one.
That's right. And the guys over at Long Bangers as well, they sort of helped us get set up and showed us how to like put our content in that. So it's good to see like the Hibs fans and that looking forward to seeing other Hibs content and other folks' opinions and getting it out and that. So it's been good. Like it's been good support for the sort of community and that, and the guys that also do this type of stuff. So it's been decent. Right. Been really, really positive. Like, I'll be honest with you, I've not seen any like other podcasts for like other teams of that. I'm not sure there's like, I was trying to have a wee look to see if there was a Motherwell podcast or something to see if we could get a Motherwell fan on to try and review the game, but no, never really seen anything. So I think Hibs fans in particular are doing quite well and getting content out there. Like, so.
What's the Hibs topic choice this week, mate?
I think it's the 1991-1992 home jersey. It's one I got it off of eBay.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how much you can see in the screen, but
that's a nice one. That
nice buy. Like, obviously, like as you said last week, Holy Grail top would be the Adidas ones, But closest thing I can get now. There's one boy I keep on messaging on Twitter. His name's Jordan Hopskin or something like that. He sells a lot of them, I'm always screenshotting them and sending them, being like, how much is this, mate? How much is this, mate? How much is this, mate? And I never buy any, or I'm always too slow and the one I want's away or something like that. So I've started to collect quite a few the older tops and that, so it's been decent. Yourself, I like that one as well.
The year we went down, I think it was 1998, 1999 season, this one. I got it a few years back. But it's held its value. It's really nice. One of my favourite tops we've ever had.
I like it when Hibs do the yellow away strips, I think that it's classic Hibs, like, the yellow and the black. Purple's good as well, though, so it's a bit of a mix-up, like, but...
definitely.
It's been good. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the feedback that we've had, and guess may as well just get stuck into the Motherwell game. Then we both went score predictions. I'm pretty sure we both went 2-0.
We did, mate. It was a bit of a letdown, wasn't it?
I think we're just living in a parallel universe somewhere, so we ended up getting gubbed 2-0.
I think it was one of those ones that Motherwell just turned up and played their game, and I think we just turned up expecting to win, and they caught us out with two cracking goals. But that was disappointing.
I never seen that coming, to be honest with you. How would you sum it up in one word?
Inconsistent, I think. That's really it, based on the past 4 games, and then we go into that. It's just, nobody seemed to know how to string a pass together or anything like that. So, what about yourself? How would you describe it in one word?
Just typical, mate. Just typical.
Aye.
Yeah, and a lot of incentive to go. What was it? 10 clear of Aberdeen. Well, 7 clear of Aberdeen with a game in hand. First time in a long time I've been really buzzing for a game, putting the podcast out that week and getting hyped up for it and that, and showing up and getting gubbed. It's just typical, eh? so typical. So I knew. I wasn't really surprised, eh? No. But I think just typical. I think it's typical Hibs, eh? Like, get your hopes up in that, eh? And you get let down. So
I'd say that last week, mate, I had all the makings of a typical Hibs performance. Say like we win 4 in a row, and then we just get. But fair play to Motherwell, mate. They turned up and they done what they needed to do to win. So,
they did, mate. They came with a game plan and they did players off the park pretty much most of the game. It was a real dire watch. Like, just watching it for Hibs' point of view, it's just frustrating.
I think just frustrating.
Just frustrating. There's a few big talking points in that sort of came up. One of the ones that me and you have had like over Twitter a couple of times this year is, why can Hibs not finish second? Why could we not? And I think the weekend there is a perfect example. As you say, inconsistent. They're so inconsistent, which sort of makes me think like it's almost just by luck we're in 3rd place this year, because there's been better Hibs teams in the past. Could have probably finished 3rd, but never. I wouldn't say this is one of the best, especially since last time we 16 years ago. The team with Brown, Whittaker, and Ryan O'Connor, that team that finished 3rd. I mean, we'd absolutely wipe the floor with this current team. I think. A lot of teams in the past as well that would wipe the floor with this team. I just think they've been awfully lucky. Eh?
There's been some games where we've rode our luck a wee bit, but I think hopefully we will get 3rd day, but it's like games like Motherwell at home, you need to win, and if we can't win them, then I think we just need to have a wee look at ourselves for this weekend and be like, well, is there some players that could come in that could change that? But I think we put out a good enough team to beat Motherwell. It's just we couldn't do it.
I'm with you on that. Like, I understand why he dropped Gogic. Well, never played Gogic. With Newell and Jackson in the middle, because I think Jack Ross was looking to probably just like get players on the ball and play football. With that sort of creative flair in the middle, with those two in the middle is, especially with Newell signing his new deal and that, it was obvious he was going to start, and Jackson's been pretty awesome since he came in as well. So I can see why he went with those two, because you're thinking it's Motherwell at home. We need to be assertive here and try and get a foothold in the game early on and try and be the dominant force, but just didn't work, eh?
I think it's hard because Jackson, Irvin, and Joe Newell are very similar players, eh? And they both like to drive the ball, and I think we just missed that. Like, we need a big hitter in the middle of the park, eh? And I think Motherwell at home should be a game that Gogic is sitting comfortable and breaks up the play. And I think we missed that. We missed someone like that could break the play up on Saturday and help us start again. But frustrating.
I'd agree with you, mate. I think especially after about 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you could see that we hadn't started the brightest, and you could see that Motherwell were you could see the system wasn't working. And just sort of stuck with it. But it's understandable to a certain extent, because you didn't want to change things too early, but quite early on you could see it wasn't working, and it was a game that was crying out for Gogic to sort of give that Campbell in the middle of the park like a bit of rough him up a bit and try and assert our dominance in the game, like I was saying earlier. But it just never happened, and it was just like time just went by, and it was 1-0, and then before you know it, it's 2-0, and it's just that's the game over, eh?
And that's the frustrating bit, because he sets us out coming into the second half, and 45 seconds later we're 2-0 down. Then he brings 3 subs on. It's like, could you not have just made these subs at half, like at least one of them at half time? Kenan, if he makes a sub at half time, maybe brings Gogic on. I don't think we go 2-0 down.
I don't know what the team talk was, mate. Like, I mean, what was that team talk at half time? You come out and you lose a goal straight away. Like,
I know.
Ken, we're going for third European football now. Like, does anybody care?
I know.
Is anybody
that's the
excited
question of
about it,
like,
or
who's the leader in this team? You know, I think McGregor's coming and steadied the ship massively, but it doesn't seem to have a leader. And Paul Hanlon's your captain, and I didn't rate Paul Hanlon, and I know a lot of people do, and I've honestly never rated him as a captain because he doesn't shout that often, And like, if you need your captain to just bollock them if it's not going the way it's meant to be going. Get us back in the game, Paul.
I agree with you, mate. He doesn't come across as like a scary figure. Do you know what I mean? If you put a foot wrong, I didn't imagine Ken. You're nervous going into the changing room, no one to Ken sort of catch eyes with Hanlon. Ken, I didn't think any of the players are bothered about that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's why we sort of put it on the Twitter and that, thinking like if you look at other teams, like, and we're not talking about in terms of ability, but like Gerrard when he was at Liverpool, Ken, could you imagine going in with what's on the line, the potentially a European place, and no showing up or hiding and things like that, and you'd expect someone like that, like your Gerrard for Liverpool, you got Terry and Lampard for and Chelsea, players like that, you know, the Roy Keanes and that for Man United to step up, and someone who actually cares and can voice their opinion and no just just react to what's happening. But who is it in that team that thinks, right, Chris, we need to get hold of this game. I need to take this game by the collar and try and make something of it. Like I don't know who it is. I honestly don't.
I've been struck. I think the last good leader we had was probably Rob Jones,
Well, potentially, I do think what you're saying there with McGregor. I think McGregor's Hibs through and through.
Oh, definitely, mate, definitely.
I think when Hibs lose, it hurts them, eh?
Aye.
I do think that. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt the rest of the boys. Don't get me wrong, but he's one of us, eh? Do you know what I mean? He knows what it means. I just don't think there's many like that in the team, and it's frustrating because sitting at home, you're watching it, and I can't. I mean, I know what's on the line, eh?
Aye.
I can't understand why you wouldn't be. Ken, just show us something, eh? Ken, go out with a bit of fight. If we didn't mind, Ken. Well, I personally do mind, but if you show up and you play your game, and comes away that Motherwell's beat you, but you've played well and you've had a go, Ken, you can hold your hands up and say, fair enough, we played our game, we lost on the day, and there's not much you can really do about that, because it's sports at the end of the day. But showing up like that, like almost half-hearted, like didn't seem like anyone was particularly bothered with that, and I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me. I just think like, where's the sort of, who's the driving force in that team? Who is it? Like, if any of the listeners know or have an opinion, like feel free to tweet us and let us know what you think. But I'm struggling for it. Like you say, you go back to the Rob Jones days and things like that, and who else sort of jumps at you in the past?
Like we've had David Gray was a fantastic captain because he always got us up for games. We never really lost a lot of games when he was playing, but it's just like we're third, but it doesn't. Like watching that on Saturday, it seemed like Motherwell were the team in third day. Like, just there's so many games. I'm like, can you actually show that you deserve to be where you are on the table? And it's just, I get easily frustrated watching Hibs in the best of times. But Saturday, I was just like, wait, there's no goal. There's not a goal coming here. Like you've got that big Huddy up front who hit the keeper 4 times or however many times, and like we just didn't look like we were going to score.
It is frustrating. I do think there's no. I think leadership in that team's a big one, especially going into European. If we get Europe and that going into European games, I mean, you won. You kind of. It seems like that if we go a goal behind, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't seem like we can come back. I mean, we played Aberdeen not that long ago. We put Aberdeen. We're 2-0 in in the space of 10 minutes. Like, who's going off their head at that? Like, who's trying to sort that out and get a grip and having words with each other in the changing rooms? Like, who's doing it? I think they're all too frightened to say anything to each other, or nobody wants to sort of stand up and be counted for. In my opinion, I just think it's poor, eh?
It's typical Hibs though. Like, and I didn't want this to just be a constant negativity for myself. Like, but it's typical Hibs. Like, I just want to have a team of players that knows what it means to pull on that jersey. And there's a handful on that team, I think, that do. You know, I think Jackson Irvine came out in an interview and said it wasn't good enough. And he's only here to the end of the season. Again, if you've got boys like Paul Hanlon never comes out and says that. Or if he does come out and say that, he's probably been told by the club to go and say it. Like, none of them are. I don't think any of them get it, which is frustrating to watch at times.
I think that's it. What you're saying there. I don't think a lot of them get it. Like, I don't think they know what it means to play for Hibs. Like, I don't. Whereas I think if you go back, you know, go back to the 2016 team, and they were really trying to bury the hatchet. Everyone saying, "Oh, you've Hibsed it, you've Hibsed it, you've Hibsed it." That hurt those boys in the media and stuff like that. They didn't like that, and they wanted to, as McGinn said in one of his interviews there, you know, we must have Hibsed it. When we actually won the final. Like they had a point to prove, and trying to bury that hatchet, folks saying stuff like that. So don't see that for this team.
No. So I think, like I mentioned, you know, with Doidge up front, I think strikers is somewhere we've struggled with a lot this season. Well, Nisbet, take him out of the equation. Like, we've not got a backup striker, eh?
Like, not, mate.
And like, if you look at who's the past couple of strikers we've had, like Doidge, McNulty, Canberry, you know, none of them really came up with that many goals. Like, there's not been really that many strikers in recent memory that if one's no on farm, the other one is. I get Boyle is, but Boyle's not a striker at the end of the day. He's a wide midfielder that's been put as a striker, but
I agree with you.
We're just missing that, and I think that's somewhere we need to address in the summer.
We've got those stats there, mate. We're having a look at it, and you know, Dodge took a lot of stick, eh?
Aye.
Well, what's your opinion on that?
I think it's time for us to get rid of him at the end of the season, mate. Honestly, like, if you're playing for a Scottish Premiership team, that's at the top end of the table, if you're not scoring in 13 games, what are you offering to the side? He's hold up plays all right, but how many chances on Saturday was he up against Liam Kelly in the Motherwell goal and just put them right at his face or at his body? I'm just watching it thinking, like, big man, you're about 6'6". Get off the ground. Win a header for once. Like, it's just frustrating, mate. What did you think watching it with him?
I think Doidge was a funny one because when he first came to the club, I couldn't understand why we'd signed him.
Aye, I know.
And you know, and then all of a sudden when Hecky left, it was like he hit the ground running, which was decent.
Aye.
And I don't know if we'll see that again. I'm hoping we will. I'm hoping he can turn it around and we can see. You know, I didn't think he responds well to not having the fans on his side.
Aye.
And I don't know if it'll just take a goal or two to sort of get him ticking over, you know, get him back on track. And I don't know if he's been affected with the Nisbet thing, like where they have a bit of partnership going on in the team, out the team. I think there's a player in there. I think he does a lot of the donkey work that goes unnoticed. But I'll be honest with you, we'll compare him to a couple of other Hibs strikers here in the last couple of years, like you know, Doidge has played 56 games for Hibs, scored 17 goals. You look at Canberry before that, 67 games, 20 goals. So, I mean, stats aren't amazing.
No.
I mean, they're not amazing. It's almost a kind of goal every 3 games or something. But it's no. There's just we're really lacking that department. I mean, the last like striker you show up and you think, I'm definitely due a goal. Well, Seffi Cummins, probably Griffiths.
Aye.
That level of sort of strike, that caliber of striker.
Aye.
Like a finisher.
Aye.
Ruthless. You know what I mean? Someone who can stick the ball in the back of the net. I think we've lacked that quite a bit recently. And obviously Nisbet came into the team and was doing well, but I was quite surprised when I looked at McNulty's stats there. You know, 21 games, 8 goals. I didn't actually think McNulty had scored that many. I didn't think he was that great because, you know, jumped ship to Sunderland and ended up at Dundee United.
Aye.
You know, and
it's something that Hibs need to address in the summer, I think, and bring in someone who is going to score the goals. But, you know, we had remember James Collins came to Hibs after scoring loads of goals elsewhere and he'd done nothing for us, and then he's went back down to Swindon and is banging them in. It's like I don't know if it's maybe the pressure for the fans or the expectations of the club just get to players. And it's annoying because like Collins and like even Rowan Vine, he was on form for St Johnstone coming in. I didn't think he scored. Like,
no, I didn't, because he's got to shave his beard if he scored mine. I think he's still got it.
I don't know if he's played another professional game since he left Hibs. To be fair, he was dreadful. But like, we just need an out and out goal scorer in the summer, I think, and I don't know where it's coming from, to be honest.
Someone be a wee bit. I don't know. I mean, what do you think of getting rid of Ollie Shaw and things like that?
I think Ollie Shaw and boys like that, like, they've got the quality, but they're not going to be a 15 goal a season player at Hibs. Same with Gullen. I think Gullen's got really good pedigree, and I think he'll play well at Rafe and wherever he ends up. But I just didn't think it's Hibs for them. Like, I think they're good players, give them their respect, but nah, they're no what I'm looking for in a Hibs striker.
I'm with you, mate. I kind of think Shaw had his chance. You know, he had his chance. He played a few games and he didn't really make a statement.
Nah.
So, especially boys like that as well, like Ollie Shaw. Like you'd think can playing for Hibs and that, like, and it's some folks' dreams, you think that he'd be in the gym, like, can really fit, you know, owning his craft and that, and really trying to make a name for himself, but. Disappointing. I've been disappointed in the strikers we've signed the last couple of years. I mean, Nisbet's been a good striker so far, but his attitude's stinking.
Like when he come off the bench on Saturday, I didn't think he had anything. Like, he didn't really offer much, did he? Like, nothing really stood out. Aye, which is a shame because I think there's definitely a player there, eh? Like, he's our top scorer in the league and whatever, and I think he just needs. I don't know what it is. If it's a conversation with Jack Ross to be like, I want to leave the club, but like, that's fine, but you need to prove that you're ready to leave the club, eh? Like, you need to have the clubs interested rather than I will let you go down south for a cut price. That we had a £3 million offer for him in January, and I think he deserved that fee. So I think he just needs to buckle down, get a few more goals this season, and he should be fine.
No, I'd agree with you to a certain extent. Like, I just think, like, he's not. I'm not sure he's as good as he thinks he is. Like, I've seen a lot better strikers at Easter Road than Kevin Nisbet.
Oh, aye.
You know what I mean? Like Griffiths, probably Cummins, O'Connor, these types of Chris Killen to an extent.
Aye.
Like, there's been a lot of good strikers. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I think he's getting a bit ahead of himself. Like, because I actually think I said it last week. Like, I don't know if these boys realise how big a club Hibs are.
Aye.
Or how good it is to play for Hibs.
Aye.
I mean, I think a lot of folk turn into a bit of a Billy big time, and look at Cummins. I mean, can jump ship. Hadn't really proven that much, because I think Cummins should have stayed with us another year and played in the Premiership. Gave us a year in the Premiership to prove himself.
Aye.
But he sort of jumped ship before he had his down to Nottingham Forest, and he ended up, was it Luton Town or something like that? He ended up at, I wasn't sure, and then
he went to Rangers and then Shrewsbury and then back up here. Like, I would have taken him back at Hibs. Like, I would have 100% taken him back.
He's back at Dundee now, eh? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's probably maybe regretting that he left Hibs. Do you know what I mean? Because he was the main man. He was well liked kid. His name was in and around the Scotland team and things like that. Like, do you know what I mean? I think Nisbet needs to do. The grass isn't always greener, like, and he needs to. He needs to decide very quickly, because time's running out. Like, what's he going to do? Is he going to try and have that conversation with Jack Ross and try and put his foot, get his foot back in the team, his foot back in the door, try to get back into the team, or think boys like McGregor or someone would put an arm around them and try and work out what's going on. You know what I mean?
There's 8 games left of the season, mate, and like, I think this will be the time where if he's going to get a move, he needs to prove it now. Like, this is the point of the season where teams start looking at players, like March, April time. So I hope he comes back into form, mate, because we're definitely missing his goals.
Aye, definitely. We definitely are, but statement for it is it's kind of difficult to work out what Hibs are actually trying to do, because you refuse a £3 million offer.
Aye.
His head's obviously not in the right place because he's no playing the now.
Aye.
So is someone going to have a conversation with him and try and get him back on track? Is it what's he like in training? Like what's going on? If we're no selling him, we're obviously hoping to use him, or he's obviously part of our plans. So be interesting to see how that develops. Like,
aye, definitely.
Be interesting. But I just think I don't know. I just think he needs to chill out a wee bit, like in case he turns out like a bit like a Cummins, eh? Because I think he could regret it. Like,
aye, because I love Nisbet. I think he's definitely a player, but his attitude isn't in the right place now, and it's a shame. It's a shame to watch because I think he was pushing the door of the Scotland team. But if you're not scoring, you're not getting anywhere near it, eh?
I think it was. I think there was a big debate between him and Shanklin, like who'd maybe get the jersey for that. But looks like Shanklin's picked up his game as well. So the competition around him and that certainly stepping up to the plate. So he needs to have a think to himself. But interesting. Interesting.
What are you thinking for Saturday, mate? Do you think this is the right time to play St Johnstone?
Aye, St Johnstone away on Saturday. It's quite interesting because I was thinking about that, and I was thinking like, Ken, there should never be a bad time for Hibs to play St Johnstone. Do you know what I mean? There should never be a bad time for. I mean, I'm obviously biased, eh? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I think Hibs should be, like I said last week, teams like Motherwell, St Johnstone, Dundee United, like we should be gubbing them 2-3-0.
Mate, definitely.
The reality is, mate, we're not, and that's why we do find ourselves best of the bottom six and things like that, and sixth place, fifth place, because typical Hibs, they show up against the likes of Celtic and Rangers, and the next game week they get beat off Hamilton, something stupid like that. So that's why this game's so hard to call, to be honest with you, because we've just had a defeat there to Motherwell that was completely out of the blue. And obviously St Johnstone had our number in that semi-final.
Aye, definitely, mate.
So, to be honest with you, I'm not sure it is a good time to play them, because coming off a cup win and things like that, it'd be feel good energy around their stadium and that, and around their changing room and that the last week. Although I've seen they drew last night. They drew
against Hamilton, aye.
So maybe that was their hangover last night, eh? Their cup hangover. So I don't know. Quite a rubbish answer, to be fair, but I'm not sure it is a great time to play them, because I think that I think they'll definitely be on a high. And actually, I've had if you look at the table as well, like they're pushing for top six.
Aye, St Mirren. I think St Mirren will get it, but you're right. St Johnstone are going to push them all the way.
They're only 5 points behind.
Right,
5 points behind St Mirren, eh?
And there's 3 games until the split, depending on how many games you've played.
Well, that's right, aye, 3.
But I mean, if you look at recent memory, mate, like you'll remember when we won the League Cup in 2007, we won 1 game for the rest of the season. That was the last game against Celtic. And like St Mirren, they won 1 and Ross County won 2. So it's almost like the Celtic takes Celtic out of it because they won every game probably. But like the League Cup does seem to be a wee stumbling point. Like you win the cup and then the season sort of goes to pot. But I think you're right, mate. Like I can't predict it. Honestly, can't predict. And away for home, our form's better. But St Johnstone's always been a dodgy place for us to go, eh?
I don't think they get enough credit, mate. I actually do think they're a half decent team. Like they've got a good front 3 and good back 3.
And their manager's brilliant. Like Colin Davidson's done really well there. Like all credit to him for winning that cup. Like,
I think it'll be a challenging match. Like
I think so.
I think it'll be a very, very even match and a pretty nervy match. Because to be fair to St Johnstone, if they can finish top 6 and win the cup, like that's a dream season.
High. Even for St Mirren, mate, if they finish top 6, they got to Hampden. That's a fantastic season.
Yeah.
Like we got to Hampden twice, although we did get hammered both. Well, we got hammered off St Johnstone, but not off Hearts. But like that's still an alright season for us, Ken. If we finish 3rd and get to Hampden twice, maybe 3 times with the Scottish Cup resuming, or 4 times, we could win the cup hopefully. But I think hopefully we win on Saturday. Like
3 points is important on Saturday.
Aye.
We're desperate for the 3 points. I mean, especially to keep this European thing going because it's a big incentive, and I think
aye.
I'd hate to see that slip through our fingers, eh?
Aye, I mean, if we don't finish third, there's Jack Ross has to go. I think. Like, and he's won a lot of people over, myself included. But if we let this slip now, I'd get rid of him.
I'll go for a strong opinion of the week. See if Dennis McInnes became available the morning, I'd take him. I think he's done a brilliant job at Aberdeen. Like the types of players he attracts, the fact that he's his only downfall is he's obviously not won many cups. He's reached quite a lot of cup finals and semi-finals, but I do think they've really cemented their place in third. I mean, they're a better team than Hibs and Hearts.
Oh, aye.
Consistently, Aberdeen have been in the last couple of years, but I don't know. I didn't understand Ross sometimes. I mean, seems like he just reacts some of the times. Like he's a
very reactive manager, and you saw that on Saturday with the 3 changes a second after going. Like, just make a change at half time. It's what we're crying out for. Like, I wonder. It'd be interesting to see if he looked at Twitter during the games, because everyone can see something that he doesn't.
That's true.
Like, surely the performance analyst Calvin Charlton's looking at the game and like something's not working and give him a wee bit of advice, Like, but I mean, would you persist with Dodge this weekend? Would you see him and Boyle the another game together, or would you bring Nisbet back in, or how would you line up top?
I think you've got to persist with Dodge to a certain extent. I'd go with Dodge up front. I mean, I think he does a lot of the donkey work, and I think it's just going to take. All strikers hit a bad dip, and I know 13 games is a long game for a striker. It's a long time for a striker, no scoring. But I do think he'll come good again, and I think that I think it'll just take him one, and then he might go on a run again like he done last time.
He got a hat-trick at McDermott Park last season, and he went on that run. So. I mean, this could be the weekend. I hope it is, because I mean, I'd love him to start banging them in as well. Like, but I'm not sure I would persist with him this weekend. To be honest, if I was in Jack Ross's shoes, I think I'd give Nisbet a run out because he's bereft of confidence. So, or maybe put Dodge and Nisbet together and put Boyle back out wide. I know that means Cadden might not get a shout, but it's going to be an interesting.
Anyway.
He is, and I mean.
He's not a striker. I've seen people say, Hibs play best when Boyle plays through the middle, and to a certain extent, but would it not be good? Maybe mix it up a bit and try and go Dodge up front and see if you can have Boyle and Nisbet playing off him.
Well, because Nisbet can drop deep to get the ball back, Like, I think if we went Dodge on his loan and then have Boyle and Nisbet behind him, I think that might be worth a shout as well, Like, or even if Nisbet's not up to it, put Scott Allen on, not to start, I would say, but bring him on, or I think there's definitely options for that. But there's definitely options for a wee change of formation, hopefully this weekend.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I just think Dodge gets a lot of stick, but I think like we were saying in the last sort of segment, they're looking at the Hibs strikers. I think if you compare it to Canberra, and to be honest with you, I didn't think in the past couple of years there's been many strikers that have sort of stood up and been counted for in big games or I think the score. I mean, did Canberra score against Hearts?
He scored at Tynecastle once.
No, I can't mind it. We didn't fact check.
We got beat that night, so I've sort of got rid of it. But I remember he scored a penalty at Tynecastle, but. There's not really been that many strikers. The last one is Cummins, Cummins loved a goal there.
Or against other big teams, Ken. I didn't actually think he got a shot at Celtic, but Ken playing Rangers, playing Hearts, playing Ken teams like that around us. Ken Cummins was always the one that there scored. But you're banking on him to score. But last couple of strikers, I don't think any of them have been like absolute out and out goal scorers. Like I wonder if the role of our strikers changed. Obviously, not changing in terms of putting the ball in the net, but there's a lot more to the game, like holding the ball up, laying it off, like linking play up.
Well, you saw that in Morelos this year, Like for Rangers, like he's completely changed his game, and I think he's not scored that many goals, but he's set a lot more up, and he's done the dirty work when he needs to. I think he does the dirty work a little too much for my liking, but but you never like. But I think we've got to try something different this week, I would say.
I don't know what I don't know if maybe Ken losing to Motherwell was just a blip, but
I hope it was a blip.
I've seen a lot of folks saying that to me, but I've seen it too many times, for it to be a blip.
Aye.
Yeah, whenever we're on a high or something like that, and a lot of folk are saying, now I don't want to be the Ken coming at this for a negative angle or that, or trying to put a negative spin on anything for anyone listening or that, but it seems to me like people are happy. Oh, we went 4 games unbeaten, or if it was 4 games, kind of a good run of 4 games, but it's like Livingston went 11 unbeaten.
Aye.
Or something.
A team like Livingston. I know. And
why accept that? Yeah, I didn't accept getting beat 2-0 off your Motherwell. I didn't think that's good enough. Yeah, I think they should be they should be beating Motherwell. Ken, we should be looking to go 10 points clear of Aberdeen and really cement in that position. But
and it's why are teams like Livingston able to string around the games like that together? Like Livingston are rubbish, mate. Like, let's be real, they're rubbish. And like we get 4 wins, and then it's a disappointing result. Like, just come on, get way at Hibs. Come on, we need back on the horse this week.
I think what's your sort of predictions for the weekend? When you got a score prediction?
I think it'll be 1-1, mate. To be honest, like I never am confident going up to Perth, but I mean we won there in August. Stevie Mallon's last minute penalty winner, and we did deserve to win that day, so I'll take it. But I think it'll be 1-1 on the basis that it's maybe. I think Jaguars might change it up a wee bit, and I think St Johnstone are obviously still on the high winning the cup, so I think we'll take a point. What about yourself? What are you thinking?
I'll go 2-1 Hibs. I think it'll be a very close game, but hopefully the boys have got enough in them to sort of want to get their own back for that semi-final, and also again realise that Europe is on the horizon potentially. So hopefully there's some sort of.
I don't know who Aberdeen have got this weekend, but it's also another opportunity. Just go.
It's Hamilton, mate.
Hamilton are in this stage of the season where they need to win games. So, I think if we can win and Aberdeen can drop points, then we've got Ross County. Is it next week we play Ross County in a rearranged one? I think it is. I
think it is, mate. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not even sure that's a guaranteed win. I think Ding was a difficult place to go to. Like,
they beat Celtic the other week there, So, but I mean,
exactly.
We can only hope. Aye. Well, do you think who would you say in the St Johnstone team we need to keep quiet if we've got a chance of winning?
I think they'll be dangerous to set pieces, like they showed in that semi-final. So guys like Kerr and stuff like that, they've got Rooney as well, so it was pretty good. But I think they'll be dangerous from set pieces, if I'm honest with you. Like they were in the semi-final, It was like all Hibs. I mean, Hibs absolutely battered them until they got their first set piece, or it was a complete freak, goal, which was just to get stunned like that. I think the problem is they'll be dangerous with set pieces, and if we go a goal behind, I'm not too confident we can turn it around.
No. I think I'd agree with you, mate. I think Jason Kerr and Sean Rooney are there too, because I don't really know. They've got that Guy Melamed in right mid, who's a decent wee player, but I don't really make much of Stevie May now. I think he's sort of lost his clinical touch. He started last night, but he got pulled off. So I think if we can keep that sort of side of the pitch, like Rooney will play right wing back and Melamed will play right mid probably. So if we can keep him quiet and keep Jason Kerr quiet, maybe give him a sly word in his ear to sign a contract in the summer with us. But apart from that,
maybe a supporter, maybe.
I think he's for what I've heard, he's a diehard Hibby, but.
One of the boys they've got in their team's quite good. I'm surprised we never mentioned him. I think he'll have a big impact on the game. Is Liam Craig? I'm petrified of Liam Craig.
I think.
I'm just looking, mate. He's a funny one, Liam Craig.
He's just he's a bog standard centre midfielder, Like he's not really anything special, and I agree. I think if he's playing well, I think he'll keep calm on the ball, and he'll do the. But like he was rubbish for us, wasn't he? Like he scored against Hearts and Partick Thistle, and that's all I can really remember him doing.
That's such a weird one, because he was good before he came to that, and he comes to Hibs and he was guff, man, Definitely not a Hibs captain. That was a very dark time.
That was a rubbish season for us in more ways than one.
It's a shame it never worked out for him, because he seems like a decent bloke in that. It seems like St Johnstone's his team in that, and he's happy there. But there's quite a few ex-Hibbies in their team, The Witherspoon as well.
And Callum Booth as well.
Oh, I never liked Booth, man. I couldn't
never
take him
either. I think is Danny Swanson still at St Johnstone?
I'll be honest with you, mate. I've got no idea.
I didn't came here. I know he went to them after us, but like I say, I didn't really keep tabs on a lot of players after they leave Hibs. Maybe the obvious ones like John McGinn and Effie Ambrose, etc. But I don't really care.
I was disappointed signing that as well,
Aye. I thought Effie was all right for us. Like, I think that's probably one of my stronger opinions. I think I rated Effie a lot higher than most people did. I think he was.
Oh no, Effie. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Swanson still.
Oh, Swanson came in with a lot of pedigree, and I think the big thing for him was when his best mate got murdered. Like, I think that obviously played a lot on him, and he just didn't. Which is a shame because he had it. I think he's a good player, and I wasn't sad to see him leave, unfortunately.
I'm with you on that, mate. I'm with you on Effie as well. Like that was. There's maybe another one that shot himself in the foot a wee bit.
Livy. I know. Aye.
But so who is it in our team? We're almost coming to a close here. Who is it in our team you think is going to be the difference this week? Who do you think needs to step up and be counted for? Who's going to be important?
I think the important ones are probably like Jackson Irvine, and I'd say Gogic will be a front runner to start. I think if they two can, because that's where the game's pretty much won, isn't it? If you get the midfield battle right, you're on to something. So
I'm with that.
And I'd love to see Jamie Murphy step up though. Like he's not really had that good run of form recently. So I'd love to, because I think he's a brilliant player for us, being one of our more exciting players this season.
Mate, he's due a goal after that howler he missed in the semi as well, So
he's due us more than a goal, mate, I think.
Aye.
But
hopefully, just the usual ones, Defence has got to stay up and play quite a clever game, because I think they'll be quite dangerous going forward. Aye. So I think whoever's playing centre back this week, to be honest, whether it's McGregor and Hanlon or Porteous, and one of the two of them, be interesting to see.
Aye.
Strikers as well. Strikers need to start taking chances.
Aye. Did we get any listener questions this week, Colin?
We've got two, mate. We've got two, and they're absolute crackers as well. So the first listener question, just rounding off the podcast here, is: would you take Lee Griffiths back to the club, or Scott Allen re-signs a long-term contract until he retires? Oof. This came from the Twitter user 18AMT, and here's a wee fun fact for you, mate. This listener is in a place called County Antrim in Northern Ireland, so that's how far our podcast has reached, mate.
Brilliant.
But we're off the shore. Aye, we travelled ashore, so
that's a tough one.
Cheers for listening. If you're listening to episode 2, thanks for listening, mate. We appreciate it. And great question as well. So I'll let you take that one, Charlie.
Mate, it's a hard one because I love both of them,
Aye.
I think looking at it from a realistic point of view, I think Scott Allen signing a contract is more likely to happen. But what I would I'd like Lee Griffiths back for the pure aspect of he's a brilliant striker. But I mean, if we could have both of them, that would be the ideal.
Aye.
Who would you have?
I think this one's an easy one for me, mate. I'd take Griffiths back. Aye. I think he's exactly what we miss. Someone who's Hibs through and through. He knows what it means. I'd imagine if we lost it would hurt him as well. Aye. Like boys like McGregor and things like that. I think he's the missing piece.
Aye, definitely.
However, Scott Allen's one of my most favourite players,
Aye.
Hurt me the first time round, when he went and handed a transfer request, but all's forgiven. But here's a strong opinion for you, right? I used to think when Scott Allen was at his peak, he was better than John McGinn in that Hibs team.
He definitely had something different, eh?
A lot of folk will disagree with that, eh? But see, when I started going along watching Hibs, I'd never seen a player like Scott Allen until since we'd had Thompson and Brown and things like that. But see the way he unlocked that Rangers defence when we beat them 4-0 at home that day. Unbelievable. Some of his passing in that just unbelievable. Eh? Just such a good player to watch on the ball. But unfortunately, we his health and things like that, I didn't think that it would be the right thing to take on until the end of his contract. But
I think so, mate. Aye.
Wish him well. Like, he could a great player.
Definitely
one of my favourites. Like, for sure.
Aye, mine as well.
But I definitely thought he was probably the standout in that midfield between him, McGeoch, and McGinn. I think he's heavily underrated. Eh?
Aye, definitely, mate.
And I think he could have walked into that Celtic team. Came when Celtic signed him.
I think so.
There's no reason why he couldn't have. Eh?
No.
Excellent, mate. Excellent.
Him and John McGinn could have walked into that Celtic team.
Easy. I think John McGinn, them being tight-fisted and no signing McGinn's probably the reason they've not got 10 in a row.
And that's probably another podcast another day, but that's why I hate Celtic and Rangers and all that so much. Eh? Like, they're so self-entitled, but this is a Hibs podcast, so I'm not getting drawn into
I'm with you on that one.
Aye.
Right, so that was a good question. Here's another good one. What was it from Lewis McKinnon? He's got two here. Friend of the podcast.
Oh, aye.
Best goal you've ever seen at Easter Road?
Oh, mate, there's been a few beauties. I think the one that stands out above them all is there was a Hibs Hearts game maybe 2003, and Riordan scored an absolute beauty. I think it was 35, 40 yards out. He just cut inside in the right foot and just Craig Gordon was left standing. That's probably. I mean, if you flip it on the other head, how many good goals have Hearts scored at Easter Road? But like that, Derek Riordan's unbelievable goal. That definitely tops the lot.
I've got to go for one that was it was Michael Stewart versus Aberdeen.
That's up there for mine as well, mate. That's a
came in for the corner and he caught it so sweetly, mate. I couldn't believe that, eh?
Aye. We battered them that night as well, eh?
How we went 1-0 behind as well. I'm not sure. I can't remember, mate. I was young, but
I remember that game well. I think was it 4-1 we beat them?
4-1. I can remember watching it with my dad and my brother, eh? And then Benji came on.
Aye, that's right.
And we're like, oh Christ, what's he coming on for? He had a donkey when he first signed in. He scored 2 goals. It's brilliant. But there was a rumour that night as well after Mikey Stewart scored that goal. He was apparently really ill. Went off the side of the pitch and was spewing in that. But I never seen that.
I think I remember that. I definitely heard about that, and he was that was some goal. What a goal.
We'll tweet that one out. We'll tweet that out. So see what the listeners think. But that was a peach, man. But your Riordan one's a peach as well.
Unbelievable goal, mate.
Boy could score for anywhere, man. He's one of my all-time favourite players. Then the last one. Who's the best opponent player you've seen at Easter Road?
Henrik Larsson, hands down.
I was going to say the same.
Easily, I think I was thinking about this earlier on when I saw Lewis's question, and Roy Keane played at Easter Road as well, and he's a midfield player that if we could have him in the Hibs team, we need someone like that. But Henrik Larsson, mate, what a player!
There's nothing that guy couldn't do. No. It was amazing, man.
And his career, he went from strength to strength. Like, he went to Barcelona, all teams, like for Celtic. Like he just a generational talent, and really glad I got to watch him at Easter Road. Like,
he was good. One of the other players that it's probably shocked me, Van Dijk.
That's right, aye.
Van Dijk, mate. One time I was at the Hibs game, right, and we were watching. It's Hibs Celtic, and I think we got gubbed 5-0 or something there.
I remember that. Aye.
And Van Dijk had a free kick. It was about the halfway line, and he scored it.
Aye, I remember.
And I was just right.
I know. I remember I went with my dad and my uncle and that to that game. We left it 2-0 because we're just sick of it. Like, that was a season. I don't think I lasted a full game that season because I was just depressed watching Hibs, and I remember we got back to the pub and just put it on, and Van Dijk had just smacked that free kick. I was like, oh my days. And now looking at him now, what a career he's had, eh?
Unbelievable, eh? Like, he's one of the best centre back in the world, eh? But
he's up there, for sure.
I couldn't believe it, eh? When that went in, my heart sunk. I just thought, this is grim. This is grim, like, eh? But I'll probably go with one. But obviously Larson, eh? But I think Van Dijk's an honourable mention, like, just from what he's went on. Like, did I think there's been any? Has there been any other like folk that have went on to win the Champions League like that I've seen at Easter Road like play for a team? I'm not sure. Like,
nah, the only other good players like
I think Larson done it with Barca.
But there's not been that many. Like, you remember we had Robert Pires and Patrick Vieira playing for Hibs one day for Ian Murray's. But like, if that, they were quality. But I like Larson and Van Dijk are the only two I can think of. Maybe the listeners will be able to think of any other ones, but I can't think of any other ones.
Pretty sure Alan Norman ended up playing the Champions League and Van Persie kicked him in the face or something. That was
Alan Norman, there's a blast for the past.
Aye. So that's it for this week, mate. We'll jump back on next week and get a review of the St Johnstone game and look ahead to our last upcoming fixtures. Chat about the Ross County game next the following week as well, and see where we're going to go. See if we'll need to get the passports out or keep them in the keep them locked away for another God long. Right, mate. I've enjoyed that. It's been good.
Right, no worries, mate. We'll speak to the listeners soon. Cheers.
Perfect, mate. Catch you later.